Всем привет! Приветствуем всех слушателей нашей программы English 64, английский за 64 дня, Клеточка G1, БЛИЦ-английский. Освежим в памяти грамматику и лексику данной клеточки и начинаем переводить первые 10 предложений с подсказкой. Victor was very happy in Italy because there were very few cars. Виктор был очень счастлив в Италии, потому что там было слишком мало машин. Frankly speaking, there was too much sugar and too little water in coffee. Мы помним, что предложение there is there are переводится с конца, поэтому кофе будет в начале предложения. Итак, перевод. Откровенно говоря, в кофе было слишком много сахара и слишком мало воды. The coffee was tasty but too sweet. Кофе был вкусным, но слишком сладким. The matter is that there was a lot of tasty coffee there. Дело в том, что там было слишком много вкусного кофе. But he was not worried, and he was not in a hurry. Но он не был взволнован, и он не спешил. That's why there was little sun and too many rains there. Вот почему там было мало солнца и слишком много дождей. That waitress was tall, though her husband was short. Та официантка была высокой, хотя ее муж был низким. Последнее предложение с подсказкой. But there were too few plates. Но было слишком мало тарелок. Далее самостоятельно. There were too many cups there. The juice was not fresh. That's why it was sour. The cheese was fresh, but bitter. There were always glasses on the table at 7 p.m. There weren't any eggs in the fridge at 6:30. The director was at work at 12 p.m. sharp. All employees were at work at 7:45, but I was late. The editor was not at work because he was far. Проверяем, продолжаем. The editor was not at work because he was far. That's why he was not at home. By the way, he was on a business trip yesterday. There was little cheese, but a lot of onions. Because it was inhumane. There was little sun, but a lot of snow outside. All scientists were hungry, but deputies weren't. Tomatoes were sour. Pasta was tasty but salty. All pilots were on vacation. But there were a lot of janitors. There weren't any pilots at the airport 3 days ago. By the way, there weren't any sausages. There was cheese on the table, but there wasn't any butter. Wasn't there any wheat in Turkey 2 years ago? Is there a lot of wheat in Germany? Проверяем. Продолжаем. Is there a lot of wheat in Germany? Are there few bananas in Russia? Is there a lot of oil in Russia? Isn't there fresh salami? Were there any ill men? Were there any good cooks there? Was there a handsome engineer there? There was too much sugar in my tea. The matter is that sausages were very tasty. There wasn't any fresh potato at home. Unfortunately, butter was bitter. Those tomatoes were fresh. The juice was sour because there was no sugar there. There was sour juice in the glass. There was a lot of sugar at home, but there wasn't any salt. Because it was old. There was sour milk in the bottle. There wasn't any milk in the cup. Проверьте свои варианты перевода и продолжайте с нами. Weren't there any women outside? There were no fat men outside. Was there a lot of salt? Pizza was very tasty, though there was too little cheese. There were a lot of tomatoes, but too little salt in Kherson 30 years ago. There is too little juice. There aren't any eggs there now. There were too many sausages, but too little salami in pizza. There was too much salt in that butter, and too little sugar in that juice. There was little sugar in my tea, but now there isn't any sugar in it. There was little sugar in his coffee, but now there is too much sugar in it. Обращаю ваше внимание на ускоренное произношение данной фразы. There was little sugar in his coffee. In his coffee на скорости превращается in his coffee. Еще раз. There was little sugar in his coffee, but now there is too much sugar in it. There was a lot of oil in Turkey 1 year ago, but there is little oil now. There was a lot of pepper, but not any paper on the table. There were a lot of bananas in the fridge yesterday. Проверьте свои варианты перевода на данном слайде. There were a lot of bananas in the fridge yesterday. There were apples on the table. There were employees in the office. There were planes in Germany. There were trains here. There were cars in Istanbul. There was an orange in the fridge. There was an employee in the office. There was a plane there. There was a train here. There was a car here. He was ill. Those drivers were happy and healthy. You were on vacation. Everybody was happy. All employees were there. All cooks were happy. All healthy employees were at work. All doctors were here. Проверьте свои варианты перевода на данном слайде. Приступаем к аудированию. Blind test. There were handsome engineers in Tyumen. We were out. He was a good driver. There was an apple on the table. There were oranges in the fridge. There was sun in Turkey. There was milk in the bottle. There was a lot of potato yesterday, but there isn't any potato now. Were there any plates on the table? Weren't there any cups on the table? There were spoons, but there weren't any forks on the table. There were a lot of tall women outside. Wasn't there any sugar at home? That's why my tea was too sweet. Because there was little meat and few eggs. This porridge was tasty yesterday, but it is not fresh today. There was too much pepper in that tasty salami. На данном слайде вы можете увидеть правильный перевод данного blind-теста. Благодарим вас за работу. До новых встреч!